Again, everybody, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. I was struck when I did the other day my challenge to hashtag only 10 decks, just how many RWS decks I have, because I only included one there, and I hinted that I could probably put together an only 10 RWS decks. So I started going through them, and each variation of Pixie's art that I have in different decks has something slightly different about it, which is why I have them all. And I just thought I'd go through that. It turns out I have more than 10. So there are even a couple that I probably won't show, but I'll start you off with the, as I did on the other one, the RWS SRL 20V2 with the orange roses and lilies back. And these are very sharp, crisp, clear images with kind of mottled backgrounds, very much like the Smith-Waite Centennial, which we'll see later. So that's number one. Number two is one of my old favorites that I've put in a tin. This is the RWS 2.0 by James Rickliffe, and this has very dramatic coloring in it. Then number three, we have a black and white RWS. This has a gray roses and lilies back to it. This is just the sharp line work from Pixie. Number four is the cute little Rider-Waite playing card deck. These have a really lovely back design, and they're playing card size. The images are actually smaller than the tarots in a tin. I'm not even sure they might be as small as a mini deck. But they're on sort of nice ivory cardstock, and the images are sharp and clear. Again, very similar imagery to the Smith-Waite Centennial edition. Number five is the Radiant Wise Spirit. Which has these roses and lilies backs, and these are borderless cards, and very glossy but very dramatic coloring. Number six, and these aren't in any particular order, they're just kind of the order I drew them off the shelves. They're not really in order of preference or anything. This is the Pam's Old deck from Conrad Stain. And these have the sky colors more or less stripped out. Number 7 is the Fronteras Tarot, which has this back. You can't see, they're small sun faces. And this is a smaller size deck. I love this size actually. It's a little narrower than traditional tarot. And these have nice pops of color. Pixie's art has been cropped a little bit in some cases, but I like the dramatic colors and the color palette in this particular deck. This is a little bit hard to find. I think it came out in the mid-90s. I found a copy on eBay. Next we have in the number 9 spot, sort of oversized cards that I shoved in a handmade pouch. This is the Diamond Flare Tarot that I found on Etsy. They're handmade cards. Very reasonable. I think that these are like $15. And they have what looks like an iridescent kind of background to all the black line work. It's the same background from card to card. But these are really, I think, amazingly well done, considering, well, and they're highly glossy, I think, because they are probably individually printed and then hand laminated. I don't know, they're handmade, so that's a lot of work that goes into that. I don't know how they do this for $15, but they don't appear to be professionally manufactured or industrially manufactured. It has a sort of a personal touch, but they're really well done. Number 9, and I'm going to say 9 and 10, even though they're two different. I mean, they're sort of the same deck, but these are from Paris De Bono, who has his decks, I believe, at, I can't remember if it's at Printer Studio or Game Crafters. These are the backs on all of his decks for his brand. This one is called the Gold Sky Tarot. It has a gold background, and these are sort of playing card sized. And I think it's based more on the hoi polloi designs, which were sort of Pixie's art redrawn. So it's a little bit of a cheat in terms of my Pixie art collection, but it's close enough that I think can be gotten away with it. Then he also did a black and white version, which I have here. And I just love the size of these cards. I love that they're playing card size rather than full tarot card size. Number 10 is my Pamela Colman Smith tarot, or what's referred to as the Dirty Pam, which is imagery similar to what was released later as the Radiant Wise Spirit in a borderless glossy card. These are more of a sheen rather than a gloss, and they do have a border, and I like these a lot. I also have a miniature version that was released later that has a white border with no black pin line, and I think the coloration is a little different. I forgot to get that one out to show you, but that would add to the list here. So that's affectionately known as the Dirty Pam. Next, 11 is one of my, I have two Carol Herzer decks, and this one came in a gorgeous brocade bag. I think it's my favorite bag of any bag that I have. And she hand makes these. Can't remember, I think this is called the Illuminated Tarot, and I'm not sure. The other one is Illuminated Fire or Arcade Fire, or I might be confusing that with the band. But you can go to Carol Herzer's website, and she has a whole array of variations there. Different variants on cards that she hand painted from Pixie's line work. And these are all hand made and assembled. Next, we have the CS Tarot from Conrad Stain. I have the one with this black crackleback. And these have sort of kind of crackleback backgrounds. If you can see the textures there, as opposed to the Pam's old where the backgrounds were stripped out. These have textured backgrounds that are like cracking or peeling paint textures. This is a very popular deck with people. Next I have the Moon Baby Tarot, which again is a little bit of a cheat because this one is based on the hoi polloi, which was based on Pixie's art, so I'm going to run with that. The art is close enough to her original. I'm going to claim it. The color palette is unusual. And these are nice and clean and much prettier than the original hoi polloi, in my opinion. Next we have in a tin the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. And these I have, even though they're small, I have modded them. I have trimmed off the white borders. But these are vivid colorings of the Rider-Waite, and a little bit softer. Which reminds me, I also didn't drag out my Universal Rider-Waite, Universal Tarot. I forget what it's called. There's one that looks sort of like colored pencil that's soft like this too. That would be another one to add to the list that I am not showing you here because I forgot to drag it out. Then we have the Smith-Waite Centennial in a tin, of course. And those are the backs. This is a favorite with a lot of people. And last I have my Blushing Fool, which I don't know if it's necessary to I might as well show you a card or two. They look very similar. Those are the backs. This is the card stock is very different from any other deck I've encountered. Very soft, matte. The line work and coloring is very subtle, very different, very sharp. These are getting harder and harder to find, but I believe can still be found occasionally in sales and on eBay. So there you have, oh, what is that, 15, 16, 17 different decks based on Pixie's art. Now this will have bored any of you that don't care for Pixie's art, but for the collectors out there, you'll see there are quite a number of variants in texture, color, card backs, card stock, sizes, etc. It goes on and on and on, and every day more and more come out. I probably have 3, 4, 5, maybe more that I didn't show just because they are so close and so similar to ones I did show. But yeah, you can find, and actually if you go on Etsy, you'll also find a lot of different variants of these. Can't think what else to say about them now, but oh, no, I just found another one. This one was on Make Playing Cards. This is the WS Tarot, or WS2 Tarot. This has a crackle back, and this has black borders with dramatic coloring. Luckily it was within hand's reach. So I think that about covers it. So there you go. And thanks for hanging out with me today. See you next time.